what's happening to our country.
We're taking in people into our country that shouldn't be in our country.
Back in the White House, I will terminate every open border policy.
On my first day back in the White House, I will terminate every open border policy of Biden and the Biden administration and stop the invasion of our country. On Tuesday, we had the single highest day of illegal border crossings ever recorded. We had 12,000 in one day, many coming out of the prisons, many coming out of mental institutions all over the world. In Staten Island recently, 2 elderly World War II heroes and a Korean War veteran were thrown out of their nursing home to make room for these illegal alien migrants. They were thrown out. They were 94 years old. This is just one more reason why, upon my inauguration, we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in American history. I will immediately restore and expand the Trump travel ban on entry from terror-plagued countries, and I will implement strong ideological screening for all immigrants. And by the way, the travel ban worked 100%. I didn't want to talk about it during my term, but I talk about it now. We didn't have one attack. We didn't have one attack. We were safe. And you know who else was safe? Israel was safe, and Ukraine was safe, and Taiwan was safe. They would have never done it. If you hate America, if you want to abolish Israel, if you want to sympathize with jihadists, then we don't want you in our country, and you are not getting in. You're not coming in. I will terminate crooked Joe Biden's electric vehicle mandate on my first day in office. We want cars that will go far. You will be allowed to buy gasoline-powered cars, hybrids, and also you'll be allowed to buy an electric car if that's what you want. You will have your choice, and you also have your choice on schools. We will have school choice also. You'll have car choice and school choice. We will not force the trucking industry to go electric when everyone knows that it is economically impossible for them to survive. Crime in our Democrat-run cities is out of control like never before. Every one of them is setting records in murder and violence. Their court systems are rigged against people like you and me. The whole world is watching my trial, where I've been proven innocent every day. Every day. They have nothing. Alina knows that better than anybody. The case going on right now in New York State Supreme Court is a ridiculous, never brought before case, using a statute against me that has never been used, where a jury is not allowed. I'm not allowed a jury. And where a radical left judge has refused to let go of the case which was brought by the most corrupt attorney general in the United States, working close association with Washington and the DOJ. They're working in very close association. And if it was brought, it should have been brought in the commercial division. This judge would not let it go. I've proven my innocence. Literally every single day we prove total innocence. The clubhouse-appointed, highly partisan judge, who is crazy, ruled violently and viciously against me before he ever knew what the case was about and before we even started the trial. He ruled against me before the trial was started. It should have never gone to court in order to make the case for the racist Attorney General, Letitia Peekaboo James. He had to get the values of my properties down very substantially from the true values. So he stated, as an example, that Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida was worth $18 million, when in fact the real number is anywhere from 50 to 100 times that amount, maybe higher than that. An unassailable expert testified just this week that is worth much more than $1 billion. Another highly respected expert witness in the case testified on Thursday to the Attorney General, "You really ought to be ashamed of yourself for bringing this case against this man." His expert finding, after exhaustive research, one of the most respected people in the country, after exhaustive research, is there is no evidence whatsoever of any accounting problems or fraud. There is not a single reference to a violation of any accounting provision. He concluded by saying if Mr. Trump was his student, at the Stern School of NYU, where he's a top professor, one of the most respected people in the school. President Trump would get an A on his financial statements. He would get an A. In over 40 years, he said, I've never seen a statement that provides so much detail and is so transparent as these statements. These statements also have an ironclad disclaimer clause stating that the user must use his own due diligence and analysis and not rely in any way on the statements. Right there, we win the case, but this guy refuses to acknowledge it. The prosecution's star witness, their only witness, stated on the stand loud and clear, Boris, that he lied. He said he lied. I lied. It was like Perry Mason. He said he lied. You did a very good job on that, Alina. I'm proud of you. This was like Perry Mason. At the end, yes, I did it. I did it. It's always the last 3 minutes. It was like the last 3 minutes, too. He said he lied. He actually said he's the only witness they had. So we asked the judge to dismiss the case, and he said, no way I'm dismissing. It's a hell of a thing. It's a kangaroo court. This judge couldn't care less. He's out to do a job on all of us, and we cannot let it happen. An appeals court threw out approximately 90% of the case, was thrown out. But this judge openly refuses to honor the appeals court decision as he trudges forward. Facts mean absolutely nothing to him. He cannot wait to render a decision in favor of the crooked Attorney General, who used me to run for her current position. And then, remember, she ran against our governor now. She ran for governor, and she failed, only getting a few points in the polls. She dropped out. She then went back to the Attorney General's office stating that she had something very big to do. You know what the very big is? Me. She's a vicious lunatic. She's an incompetent. You know, as everybody knows, she was the one. She sued ExxonMobil in 2019. Letitia James, in a much-watched legal battle. The end result was that Exxon moved out of New York. How do you think that's a good idea? ExxonMobil, one of the biggest companies in the world, left New York and they went to Dallas. Great job, Letitia. And that's what's happening right now. Businesses are fleeing our country. Businesses are leaving this whole horrible system. They're leaving the state. They're leaving our country. Our country has changed so radically. It's business unfriendly, and they're going to other places, but they're fleeing New York State, and no businesses are coming back. Nobody wants to come back into New York State, but they're actually fleeing to other countries. She and the judge are having a great time together as they mock the system and disregard the appellate division's decision with a laugh and with a smile. I've never heard of a case where you win in the appellate division and the judge says, I don't care. I'm not going to abide by the appellate division. That's what we have. And that would have meant 90% of the case would be won. So all of this while murder and violent crime is taking place right outside of this courthouse. So just to wrap up, I want to say this. We have a sick country. We have, as a couple of you have said, we have a nation in decline, in very, very serious decline. We're going to run in New York. We're going to run strong in New York. We're going to do things that nobody ever believed. We're going to win New York. We're going to win New Jersey. We're going to win Virginia. And then we're going to win a lot of the states that we're expected to win. And we're going to do a job like nobody's been able to do. And we're going to bring law and order back. We're going to do something that I will say is slightly controversial, but it shouldn't be. We are going to indemnify policemen and precincts and states and cities from being sued. We want them to do their job. Our police and law enforcement has to come back, and they want to come back, and they want to do their job, and we are going to indemnify them so they don't lose their wife, their family, their pension, and their job. We are going to indemnify policemen and law enforcement, and we're going to tell them to get out. We love you. Do your job. So I want to thank everybody. Mr. Mayor, I want to thank you very much. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is a record crowd. This is a record time. We're going to be back in New York a lot. We're going to actively campaign in New York. We are going to win the election. We're going to win this great state, once great state. And with you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media. We will evict Joe Biden from the White House. And we will finish this job of making our country great again, once and for all. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.